It's an early Sunday morning, hours before the sunrise. It's very dark. The whole Hyderabad is sleeping after a Saturday night hangover. And then all of a sudden there's a bike roaring its way and gliding to a stop somewhere near a deserted bridge near Paradise. And in a few minutes you see there are a lot of other bikes joining them, a lot of people. Who are these people? What are they doing at an early morning in the dark night when everyone is sleeping? Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Let me introduce to you the Highway Nawabs. This is a group of people from various backgrounds, young and old, men and women, professionals and students, who have come together to pursue one passion that they have. The passion for riding a bike, the passion to enjoy the joy of freedom on the open highways and be in the arms of Mother Nature. They came together 1 year back, somewhere around in the May 2007, in the form of a small orchid community started by just 2 people, and started growing, and today, after 1 year, we are a 700 strong family. Normally on weekends and holidays, we go out to get away from the city crowds, to get away from the stressful life that we have in the city. After a stressful week of work, to just enjoy the open rides of the highway, the open air, and then we visit exotic places, scenic roads, nice locations, and then come back refreshed. What is all this about? Like, what actually we get out of it? Nothing. It's just, there are so many people in Hyderabad, like after the IT thing, I moved to Hyderabad, there are so many people from outside who don't have their families over here. So these are the group of people who have formed a strong family, and then we go out together. And we have ridden to lots of places near and far, and the most memorable ride that we have right now is the ride to Ladakh, which was done by our group just a few weeks back. It was a 3 weeks ride by 13 bikers who went all the way up to Ladakh and then came back. And apart from that, the whole group, we have ridden to a lot of places like the magnificent forts of Bidar, the Sri Salem, Nagarjuna Sagar, Vizag, Hampi, which is famous for its temples, Naldur, which is famous for its forts, and a lot of waterfalls, and a lot of other places. I just can't name all of them right now. But there's one ride which I can never forget in my life. That was just after 2 months after I got married. My wife was pretty new. And I come from a very conservative family, so there was no way I was going to get permission to take my wife with me for a ride with a group of strangers overnight for 2 days. And the best part of it was I had to hijack my wife right under the nose of my parents at 3 o'clock in the night. And I didn't inform my parents until about 10 o'clock in the morning. And my parents thought I'm at my in-laws thought I'm at my parents. And we were out, and that was the most interesting part of it. And we were just 2 months after the marriage, and then we were just going like there were 42 bikes totally, and 7 couples. And out of those 7 couples, 2 of them were newly married couples, including me, and the rest were the boys. And we were riding together, all of the 42 bikes riding together, different kinds of bikes, different makes of bikes, you can just imagine. That was a real thrill of my life, and that was a real adventure that I had. And the ride was very smooth till we reached an Indian resort. And after crossing that, there was a long stretch of straight roads. We were just gliding away at a speed of 90 to 100 kilometers per hour. And I was just somewhere in the middle. And all of a sudden, my wife says, I think I dropped my scarf. I immediately stopped the bike, and we start looking around. There are other people with us, and they stop also. And they just start looking around. For the past 1 kilometer, they don't find the scarf anywhere. And those people say, we are riding right behind you. We didn't see it fly away. And all of a sudden, one person started looking at my bike, and he saw the scarf entangled in the chain. I got the shock of my life. If I had not stopped that bike at 100 kilometers per hour, that was a major disaster. And by that time, I had not informed my parents that I'm out on a ride. So that was one experience which always I keep remembering. In fact, the shreds of that scarf, I have kept them safe with me. So that reminds me always to be a safe rider, to take care of all the precautions when we are going on rides. And we were riding through the ghat roads of Srisalem, and you just can imagine, how many of you have been to Srisalem? So the ghat roads through the jungle, the Nalamala forest and all, the curvy and snaky roads. So through those roads we are all riding. And then, like the thumping sound of the 13 bullets and then the other different kinds of bikes. It was an experience, and on the way, one of the bikes, it got punctured. And to 30 kilometers on both sides, there was no person available to get the bike fixed. So we had stopped there. There were a few people who just opened up the tire, they took it there, they came back. So we lost about 2 to 3 hours because of that. And then by the time we reached Srisalem, we were totally tired after riding for 270 kilometers. And at that point, it was exactly the same period of the year last year. All the 12 gates of the dam were open. And we were standing right on the top where the descent started towards Srisalem. And the view that we saw from there, all the 42 bikes parked around the side of the bunk, and then the view that we saw, the showers that were coming up from the water falling down. And then the first time in my life, I saw something very strange. I saw a rainbow below my feet. A rainbow below my feet. I have the photographs, I can show you sometime. And that was, after seeing that, we just forgot that we had been riding for 270 kilometers non-stop. And the pleasure that we got at that time, it's just unexplainable. And then after that, we had a great time in Srisalem. We started our journey back the next day, and we reached home by the time it was around 9 o'clock. And as soon as we entered Hyderabad, we started getting messages that the Pandrigutta flyover had collapsed. So all the joy that we had, all the enjoyment that we had, it was just slightly suppressed for some time. So these rides, we do have a lot of enjoyment, but again these rides have taught us a lot of things. I have learned a lot of leadership skills in these rides. I've learned a lot of skills of dealing with different kind of people, with different natures of people. And the different kind of leadership roles, how to manage your time so that you just come back on time, you just don't get lost or something like that. And then we have also learned to appreciate the traffic rules, to appreciate the rules of the road. Group riding, it's all about discipline. Group riding, it's all about organization. How you organize yourself, how you ride in groups. And like different types of hand signaling, following the traffic rules, following the safety precautions, wearing your helmet always, wearing gloves, and wearing all sorts of protective gear. So all these things we have learned from there, and we try to apply it in our real life when you are riding on the roads also. And I must say, I have a bike for just 2 years, and within a couple of days it's going to complete 50,000 kilometers, and I've never had an accident.